Hello, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We are in the heart of brew country for the Milwaukee 125. We're going to see who's celebrating with a Miller Lite or who's crying in their Milwaukee's best ice. I'm James Walton, joined as always by my broadcast partners, Cameron Rich, and Dave Huckleberry. First of all, Cam, what are you looking forward to for tonight?
Well, I guess it'd be kind of the opposite, but the same as last week at Dover. We saw a lot of hot, slick track sliding around. No banking here, just about in the corners. You got 9 degrees in the corners and 0 on the straightaways. So uh, it'll be about the right side tires, keeping those under the car, keeping the car under you, and then keeping all the other cars out of harm's way to yourself. So it's a tough track here, 125 laps. Going to be really interesting to see how it works out. And I mean, we have a bit of a situation with qualifying too. Some of these drivers that I actually know that we have IndyCar rules essentially here tonight, and we needed 2 laps of qualifying to start. So a bit of a jumble grid, but it should be a fun one.
Absolutely. I tell you, it's 9 degrees more banking than it feels like around this place, but here we are with the starting lineup. It's an all Shift Esports front row, Trey Eidson next to Ryan Borges, and all Channel 199 second row with Gavin Hibbs and Ethan Stanley. And would you look at that, an all Pro Edge Racing row 3 with Matthew Weeks and Jeff Green. Finally, some different teams. JP Phillips in the 34 and the 54 of Hunter Smith on row 4. The 70 of Jesse Racimas and the 77 of Paul Mikolajczyk on row 5.
Starting in 11th is going to be Scott Eckrich and Jonathan Cutlet, your first and third place drivers in points. Seth rolls off lucky number P13 next to another shift car, Josh Adams in 14th. Position number 15 is our very own Chris Wright next to Jay Connor in 16th. 17th is going to be Austin and Nabnett, the rookie, and Tate Lytle, who has won 3 of his 4 starts at this track. Look for that car to be strong. Position number 19 is Tom Bourne next to Gavin Higgins.
And we have the 13 of Tyler Pop and the 64 of Andrew Rucker on row 11. 71 of Dave Carpenter and the 7 of Cale Pocock, row 12. Row 13 features the 31 of Gerald Campbell and the 26 of Brandon Wilkinson. The 6 of Zach Evans next to the 32 of Dustin Dorr, row 14. Kyle Hanshaw on the 46 and the 15 of Chad Frankenfield round out top 30.
Randy Yoakum, P31 next to Harrison Talion in the 32nd place. Position 33 is Michael Hostic, the Canadian, next to Mark Urbilas in 34th. 35th is going to be Tommy Ryan, and next to Sam Boutwell. We actually have the grid going here, so let's go ahead and get her underway, James.
Absolutely a good start for Trey Eidson down into turn 1. Well, it's still side by side trying to fight for a position here.
Yep, down the backstretch, it's hard to make that move off the bottom line, trying to gain the position there. But Matthew Weeks looking to gain a few spots here. Started 5th, looking for 2nd here on Ryan Borges, the ARCA standout. I think Matthew Weeks is going to get that position at the line, so we'll see if he can drive it here into turn 1 a little bit harder, get the rotation on the race car, which he certainly does. And James, if you've run this track a few times, these corners are they're not perfect. You go in there and turn 1 especially, the corner is almost like a very, 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 very small Indy with the way that they kind of didn't actually get the radius completely circular there. So it changes the way the car drives a little bit, kind of throws you off if you're not prepared for that.
Yeah, it's like the exit of turn 2, it kind of juts out. So even if you're keeping what you think is the perfect radius, you're gonna end up clipping the curb there. And then exit of turn 4, it's like it juts in. So you actually kind of cut it and straight shot it off. And there's like a little divot in the banking right here. You can kind of see it. And oftentimes, if you set your car up right, you can kind of hook that and have it hook your car through the corner, but depending on how your car is handling and what you're racing, hooking that could actually send you around. So that's something that everyone is going to have to keep in mind.
Absolutely. And another thing that we're going to look forward to in this race tonight is these cars probably will they'll sprawl out a little bit single file, and then they'll bunch back up here. So you see lots of single file in the field right now. They're just kind of playing the race out a little bit. The battle between Hunter Smith and Jesse Racimus there was for the 7th position. Hunter, I believe he actually had that over Racimus, and he keeps it for now. A little bit further on back, Jonathan Cutlip and Chris Wright going at it for a second. That was Chris Wright actually making a move around the outside a few laps ago. So he's making some speed up there on the outside. So, this is a bottom line dominant track, but depending on the track conditions and a couple other factors here, you can actually run a little bit higher in the corner here. So I don't know.
Whoa, hang on to a top board, losing it in the back off of 4, and caution is out.
Looks like a single car spin. I don't think anyone else involved. I'm not even sure if the 16 is really damaged there too, but the replay, well, it never lies. We'll see what it has to say.
Yeah, big sideways, almost has it saved, but gonna slide into the inside wall. Bam! That is actually fairly hefty contact for Tom, unfortunately.
Much more than I thought originally. He is going to have to make some repairs on that machine, or else he risks a bunch of downforce and radiator damage and other things that are not great here. But no one else involved. That is the good thing. He moves back to the 39th position. It looks like actually probably going to be, Campbell is behind him somehow. So 39th out of 40 cars right now.
Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and take our first break of the night. We'll be back shortly.
Tickets are on sale now for the 5th Enjoy Illinois 300 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. September 11th through 13th brings a full weekend of action with the NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and St. Louis's biggest music festival, Confluence. The stars shine on and off the track, and your ticket gets you everything: cars, concerts, camping, food, and fun. Don't miss it. Get your tickets now and save big at WWTRaceway.com.
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
This is Bobby Bolin from Tom Bolin Ford, and I have huge news for you. Right now, we are offering interest rates as low as 3.99 on most of our used cars. That's right, 3.99 happening right now. And it gets even better. These used vehicles come with the Bolin Lifetime Powertrain Warranty, giving you protection for the long haul. This is your chance to save big with incredible rates and shop our wide variety of trucks, vans, SUVs, and cars. Only at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing liners of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education.
All right, we are back, and we are just about ready to get back to green. Pace car about to make the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Trey Eidson will lead us to the restart zone. Green means going. We're back underway at Milwaukee.
Heck of a restart there for the 27. He was on the gas as soon as the flagman had the flag in his hand. And that was about 3 car lengths into turn number 1, but it's the battle for second between Matthew Weeks and Ryan Borges right now. Matthew Weeks looks very quick. No surprise there, him being quick in the Xfinity Series.
Oh no, Tyler Pop getting spun into turn 3! Oh, gets hit by the 28.
Hearing that he's not happy over the radio, so definitely gonna assume that he was assisted with this one, but we'll see here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
A big move from Gavin Hibbs to jump down to the bottom and then gets onto the brakes. Well, I consider maybe a little earlier than you would think, and gets into the 20, the 15 gets into him, and then blam.
Yeah, he's actually lucky he didn't hit that inside end of the wall there harder than he did. I'm not even sure if iRacing really registered any damage, but for sure the 20, he moved in front of Pop like he was a Honda CR-V in the left lane on the interstate and just did not go whatsoever. And definitely would have to. Let's see what race control calls that, but Tyler Pop, I mean, you're not going to expect that as a driver kind of here, especially on lap 11 of the race.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, lucky to avoid that inside wall. That would have been instant grenade.
See, just a tad bit of damage on the front end of that machine, but I don't think it's going to be... Actually, I don't even see really any damage on the front end. I think it's all rear end damage, so he should be able to get it fixed. I mean, he doesn't have the bumper cover anymore, but if iRacing worked like real world, that would give him about 50 pounds of downforce. So we'll see what happens to him later in this race. iRacing obviously not working like the real world most of the time, but that would be an advantage if these were the real cars.
Watching him on board now. And yeah, just no real time to react to anything right there.
Probably would have been fine if he didn't have the 15 to Chad Frankfield behind him, but obviously nothing Chad could do there. He's also just kind of, and this is one of those tracks. I mean, it's a thing with flat tracks on iRacing, and it's a thing with tracks with long straightaways too, like a Homestead or tracks like that, where the visibility down through the field when you're further on back is not as good as it is at the tracks with a quad oval, like a Texas or an Atlanta or like a Las Vegas. So it definitely causes issues like that. They have put a rear bumper cover back on the 13. It is very bent up, but he has one now, so I would assume he probably going to get himself out of the pits here in about 5 seconds or so, and there he goes.
Meanwhile,
he's going to get lapped.
And Green Meat's going, we're back underway at Milwaukee. Another good jump from Ison, as here comes Weeks around the outside, trying to get the position on board just once again.
Side by side for a second. Once again, Weeks around that outside. He's making good use of it off of turn number 2. Borges is going to have to settle for a third. We have a battle behind them. That's for the 5th position. Jeff Green on Ethan Stanley. And if I'm not incorrect, Jeff Green actually has won a race here in the Busch Series back in the day. So look for him to be quick here and right up there into the 4th position. JP Phillips around Stanley as well.
You see race control is given the tally to the 20. See side.
Go ahead.
Side by side with Eckridge and Hunter Smith.
Ooh, some contact from behind.
Trying to shut the door on Jesse Racimas, and Jesse gives him a bump.
Almost had a similar situation to the last caution. I think Jesse a little bit more forgiving there than he probably could have been. If not, we would have had our third caution of the night, almost certainly. I would have flunked the 54 round pretty quick there, but thankfully we are good to go. Seth Rawls getting sideways there off turn number 4, so definitely we see the rear tires already starting to give up on some of these drivers tonight.
Yeah, and that
99, so pretty hot out there.
That is a bit surprising because to me, I've always had much more issues keeping the right front under it here at Milwaukee. Just these flat tracks, it feels like it's always so much easier to burn the right front off. But you see a lot of cars are getting sideways. See, there goes Ethan Stanley to the inside of Jeff Green. He's going to get the pass done, and Phillips is just about going to clear Jeff himself.
So Ethan Stanley probably just taking it easy. Ooh, that was some contact there between Wilkinson and Green, or excuse me, Eckrich and Green.
Whoa!
Eckrich has a lot to lose here. He is your series points leader, so probably doesn't want to be messing with that 2-car too terribly much here, but trying to get the position nonetheless and move himself up one spot.
See, Jeff tried to clear and shut the door.
These two are going at it pretty hard right now. You see our championship standings there on the screen. Scott Eckrich leads Tate Lytle by 12 points, and then it's a couple back to Cutlip, Weeks, Wilkinson, all drivers in this race. Blake Reynolds not in tonight's race, so he will fall out of that 6th position. Tyler Popp, the last caution, would have to assume if he cannot get that lucky dog, get himself back on the lead lap, he will be in for a long night. But the 29 of Eckrich was able to get around Jeff Green there and get himself up into the 6th position, now chasing the 34 of JP Phillips.
And do keep in mind that's factoring in the fact that Tate Lytle finished about a bajillion laps down from missing the first half of last week's race in Michigan.
But he certainly did there, and Cutlip and right at it once again. We saw this on the last little green flag run we had. That is for 16th now. I think both of these drivers actually have fallen back just a little bit from where they were. Cutlip started 12th, and he's now in 16th. Chris Wright started 15th. He's now in 17th. So maybe a little bit of argy-bargy, or these two drivers kind of not really able to have some handling struggles and probably getting into a fight with themselves, not really helping matters there. There's Brandon Wilkinson. I misattributed him a little bit earlier there in the 26th, I believe it was. Sure enough.
Right.
I think he is your biggest mover of the race.
See right there, a battle between Mikolajczyk and Tate Lytle. Tate trying to make his way up through the field.
But no surprise there. We mentioned that out of the 4 times the Grand National Series has visited Milwaukee, he's won 3 of them and has gotten a top 10 in all of them. So even though he started back in P18, I don't think that car is going to be out of the question of the win anytime. I mean, really, you can never count Tate Lytle out of any win here in Elite, but definitely one of his stronger suits tonight to maybe do something here. And he's up 5 spots now, so doing a good job. He's good on the flat tracks. He knows how to modulate the throttle and the brakes and do all that stuff that you need to do at these types of tracks pretty effectively, and putting it to good use right now. Really, I mean, you can be fast, and James, you know this. You can be fast at a place. You can be, lightning quick, but at a track like Milwaukee here, passing all these cars in front of you is an art form. It is something that is going to determine whether you have a 5-lap race or you make it to the end with a victory in your hands. So definitely just needs to be patient out there tonight. Keep the car under him, not get in trouble, not get himself in too much of a fight with anyone else if he feels like he's faster than them, and just kind of do it that way. So definitely he's doing a good job right now.
Yeah, absolutely. This place is a nightmare to pass because it's hard to get that good run going into the corner with the way the line is. You almost have to kind of dive bomb it to really get your nose in on the car you're trying to get by. And as you can imagine, that usually doesn't always work out the best. And plus, it's really easy to defend on the outside. So even if you get to the inside, like you see Chad, Zach's able to fight back on the outside and hold on to the position.
Yeah, another thing I don't think a lot of people really talk about with this place is visibility going into the corners, especially if you're around other cars. You know, these flat corners, like you're right when you pass, you know, it's kind of hard to see your turn-in point. It swings out, and then you kind of have to pick a place on the inside wall or the outside wall or some other type of landmark to be able to like know when to turn in here. So it can be a little bit difficult here. You see that other flat racetracks where it just, you know, turn 3, it's a little bit easier because there's billboards going in to the corner that you can kind of use as a gauge here. But turn 1, I have always noticed that it's just so hard because really you have a grandstand to your outside and not much else to be able to judge your turn-in point.
And the end of the pit road wall, it's a lot easier to hit than you think.
Yeah, I believe we've probably all been there at least once or twice, maybe in a practice session or maybe in a race session, but somebody has always seemed to hit that pit wall. And sometimes it's like, how did you get down there? You know, what the hell is a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas type thing? But it is definitely definitely easier than you think. And battle here, Paul Michalachik and Jay Connor going at it for the 11th spot. Connor up a few spots. He's trying to make that outside work on Mr. Bunch of Letters himself. See if he can make the move. Not quite yet. Bunch of Letters, he is holding tough on the inside line. And Tate Lytle behind both of these probably wants them to figure it out sooner rather than later so he can get 2 spots out of it potentially.
Whoa, there's contact between the two. Jay ends up going way wide. That's going to allow Tate to get the pass done.
That hurt Connor a lot more than it did Tate.
That it did. Back up front, Trey Edson is just keeping Matthew Weeks at bay. About a second or so, half a second.
It's about 8/10 behind is Ryan Borges. Then we have a pretty significant gap. We'll call that about 2 seconds at this point. Back to Ethan Stanley and friends. JP Phillips and Scott Eckrich in that little group. So seeing the top 3 kind of get a little bit of distance on the rest of the field here. So definitely able to keep the tires on it, keep the momentum rolling up here.
Another gaggle of cars here. Rucker and Chris Wright battling for position.
That is back in 17th, back to about 21st place there. Andrew Rucker has that position. All those cars behind him want it. Rucker started back in 22nd, so he's up a few positions here. We saw Chris Wright a little while ago. He was up the road a little bit battling with Jonathan Cutlip. Cutlip was able to get around Chris Wright, and now Chris Wright's struggling a little bit here. See, way wide up in turn 1.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there was contact from behind with Hibbs, but he definitely got rooted out of the way, either from someone else's doing or his own doing, and he's going to lose 3 spots there.
Yeah, things are looking a bit hairy as they're trying to get by the lap car of the 28. Oh, caution is out. Oh, and it's Chad.
It certainly is Chad. He was right over the radio saying something about running into him, and we will see how much that comes true. I mean, I can't blame him for being a little bit upset about that one. I think not much you can do if you're Chad besides just give the spot up, and that's not really what you're going to be doing as a race car driver. So around he goes.
I believe me and David Westergreen had almost a carbon copy of this incident here in a different league that led to him and I almost killing each other. And then about 6 months later, we were team co-owners. So it's funny how life changes.
Yeah, it's something about Milwaukee too. I remember that back in a league that I used to run back in the day. See, just Chad gets plunked out of the way. Actually, my teammate at the time did the same thing in turn 1, but for the win. And kind of wrecked the guy out of the way. And a couple months later, we were all teammates. So it has a funny way of racing. Has a funny way of doing things like that, where you somehow end up racing with the guys that you run into and such here. But we got pit stops. It looks like most everyone is going to elect to come down pit road. Only a few non-takers that I can see. Chris Wright being one of them, and I think he might, as of now, be the only one.
Always Chris.
Chris Wright doing Chris Wright things on the strategy, but we're gonna go ahead and take this opportunity to get another break in, and we'll be back shortly.
Tickets for the 2026 Season of Speed at Worldwide Technology Raceway are on sale now. The Bommarito Automotive Group 500, June 6th and 7th. The NASCAR Cup Series Enjoy Illinois 300, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and Confluence Music Festival, September 11th through 13th. And the NHRA Napa Auto Parts Midwest Nationals, October 2nd through 4th. Save big by going to WWTRaceway.com.
Looking for a heck of a deal? You'll find it at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Right now, over $4,000 off 2025 Escapes, $2,500 off 2025 Broncos, and over $5,000 off select new 2025 F-150s. And the best part, every one of them comes with a Bolin lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. Big savings, long-term peace of mind, all in one place. Tom Bolin Ford Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
All right, we are back, and we are just in time to see the pace car make the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Chris Wright will lead to the restart zone. Green means go. We're back underway at Milwaukee.
Chris Wright on those old tires. We'll see how long they're able to actually hold up here. And he's already struggling.
Yeah, Matthew Weeks desperately wanted to try to take it 3 wide, and he will. We are 3 wide for the lead. Eitz's going to clear, now it's 3 wide for second. Oh, Chris Wright slides up, almost made contact with the 34 Phillips.
So it's a 36 lap old tires. Well, actually 38 now because we are still running laps as far as I'm aware. 38 lap old tires on the 8 versus fresh tires on just about everyone else. So he is going to be struggling out here, pretty much just kind of hoping for a quick caution. I think he was going for stage points. That's kind of not going to be on the cards, I don't think, at the moment. He's in 10th, probably going to lose a few more spots here for the stage at lap 45, which we will not throw a caution for. The 25 rolls sideways out of turn number 4. He's going to lose a spot, but no more harm than that. No cautions here in Elite for stages on the oval tracks, so if you watch NASCAR, you will not see a yellow thrown, but we might see a yellow for this big wad of cars that's all racing right now.
Yeah, you saw a great move from Hunter Smith. Went way high around right, but was able to pull it off to perfection and get the spot and crucially get away from the 8 on those ailing tires. Oh no, and Hunter Smith is going to get turned as I say that. I don't know if he came down or Gavin came up, but contact with the 95.
Yeah, I saw the 95 slow, and I thought that might have been a caution, but certainly was Well, yeah. I would have to say that I think they both kind of ran into each other, but there definitely was a little
Yeah,
bit of a move from the 95 there at the very end, too. Not sure who I could
yeah,
call that on.
yeah. Gavin definitely makes contact, but you can see Hunter is about almost a full car width off the wall, and that's so hard to anticipate as the car on the inside because you're always, and you kind of always have to assume that the car on your outside is going to track up to the wall. So when they don't, you see these incidents happen all the time. If someone doesn't completely track up to the outside wall.
Absolutely. And the thing about here is Milwaukee, an old bumpy racetrack. I can't even tell you when the last time it was repaved, but that might have not. It's probably not a case of Gavin moving the wheel to the right or something like that. It might have been just force feedback or some kind of bump or something like that, just making the car track up there a little bit. So, uh, definitely Gavin not trying to wreck Hunter Smith, and it might be just one of those things where race cars are close sometimes, and sometimes they run into each other.
Absolutely.
Says it was last repaved in 1954. That was when it was converted to asphalt.
That is
Yeah,
a crazy
that's
stat
correct.
there.
And see, that's what I love about this place the most is the history that surrounds the Milwaukee Mile. It's so unique. There's very few tracks that have a history like this place.
Oh, for sure. And Elite having a present IndyCar league that's been around for a while, and I believe this is an annual stop there. For many years, IndyCar racing ran here as their traditional post Indy 500 race. Up until '95, I think it was when that whole thing kind of blew up here. But Milwaukee Mile, the oldest continuous operating motorsport oval or motorsport facility in the world, actually, back in 1903. It predates Indianapolis Motor Speedway by 6 whole years. And even back into the 1870s, they were racing horses at this. It was the same track, just had dirt around it. So just the foundation's been here since almost the Civil War, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, I mean, tons of facility. Think of all the drivers that have raced here: AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti, Al Unser, and of course all the NASCAR guys. So lots of great drivers have turned laps at this place on this very pavement, by the way.
Absolutely, as well as the short track legends. So we see the pace car getting ready to make the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Trey Eidson will lead us to the restart zone. Green means going. We're back underway at Milwaukee. See Trey picking the outside that time. It's going to work, and it's going to help his teammate also hold on to P2. As Stanley and Weeks side by side. Here comes Stanley with a run, trying to get to the outside of Borges. He can't.
The outside's been pretty strong here off of turn number 2, but right after the restart. Oh, sideways is Phillips.
Oh, no. My goodness, Seth Rummels got popped. Oh, this is a big one. Oh, and someone else got popped.
A parking lot here in turn number 4. Incredible. That was a stack up that turned into a massive wreck.
And that was the end of the stage. And that might be the end of the race for a few.
It's like, at least on first glance, Phillips just lost the rear end there, and all the drivers behind him really nowhere to go because he spins. He's in the middle of the racetrack. You see Wilkinson and Lytle go by. Rawls, actually Lytle got a little bit there, but Rawls, big hit. Green, big hit. There's a couple more big hits here as well. There's Paul Michael Latchik who gets involved. Gavin Hibbs involved in that one. Spins around there. Not all the way, though. Get some contact back here. We're on board with, or drone cam with Austin and Nabnett. And my, oh my, that's the 7 car. The hikes up in the air. Cale Pocock. I think it was under jurisdiction of the FAA for just a minute there, but he gets back under control. Doesn't flip or anything. You see Joe Campbell.
Some gnarly impacts.
Big hit from Zach Evans here. And on board here with Zach Evans. We know the hood's not supposed to be flapping when stationary, so that's a very, very bad sign. And he's up here on the outside, just kind of, and he gets hit from behind, I think. That's got to be, well, the first car that passed him was the 32 of Justin Dewar, so logically speaking, that might be the car that plunked him around here. And I was completely incorrect.
It was Harry.
Yep, it was Harry. Dusty was not even involved in that. I don't think he had any contact through that wreck. So my apologies to Mr. Dewar. That was courtesy of the 51 there on Zach Evans.
And Zach has officially called it quits, unfortunately. It was nice to see our colleague back in the series, but that is night over for the 6. As we're already about to get back going, the pace car will once again make the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Dreamies go. We're back underway at Milwaukee. This time, Eidson back to the bottom. Now Borges is going to have a fight on his hands trying to hold off the 11 Weeks.
Side by side down the backstretch here, Weeks and Borges. Weeks on that inside line.
Meanwhile, big move towards the back from Lytle on to Cutlip. And Tate isn't going to quite have it cleared.
Tate had a little bit of contact on the right side in that last caution. I don't see any visible damage, so I think he should be more or less good to go.
Oh, big move from Cutlip and big defensive move from Lytle.
Formula One was this past weekend. That was kind of defending UC on a road course type series here, but Tate Lytle doing what he can to keep that position, and now he's looking forward and trying to get that 26 of Brandon Wilkinson. And I mean, the slow and steady climb for Lytle is real here. He's up to 7th now. Pretty soon, if not already, he will be the biggest mover in the race. I'm actually completely wrong about that. It's still Brandon Wilkinson pretty handily.
See Wilkinson trying to make the move on his teammate Scott Eckridge. He's going to get it done, and now Scott has to hold off his championship rival.
Not going to be this lap. Tate's going to have to pull up right behind that number 29 of Eckridge for now, but Eckridge way out there of the groove in turns 3 and 4. We'll see if he can use that into a good run off. Here comes Tate Lytle, who gets a better run off at turn number 4, but not quite going to be this time by. These two shift cars are probably making it a little bit difficult for old Tate there in the 50.
Whoa!
He's going to drive it in. No contact, but there almost certainly was some, and all about the runoff of turn number 2. I think he's going to get it this lap.
Oh, and he's going to slide up again. Didn't look like any contact that time.
Hope he's going to get the position here.
Oh, and here comes Scott with the big move, trying to take it back. Tate with the big reaction. And that was close between Eckridge and Cutlip. If John was a little closer, that might have ended with the 29 getting hooked into the inside wall.
Yeah, and I think that was more of a reaction to Cutlet behind from Scott than it was trying to do something with Tate ahead. So Scott just kind of put in a bad position there, already losing the one spot, and here comes Jonathan Cutlet trying to do it as well. Ryan in the 66 sideways there out of turn number 4, and now he's going to be under fire from Racimus. 1 and 2. Tommy Ryan in that 66. He was all sorts of sideways there.
He will hold off Jesse. Meanwhile, a little further back, great run for Sam Batwell holding on to, I think, P23 right now.
There he is, right behind Goody in the 44 and Seth Rawls in the 25. And Goody, for a minute, looked like he was going to try to make a move on Harrison Talion in the 51. That DoorDash-sponsored machine, but not going to quite do it this lap here.
Yeah, Sam and Goody, a few other of our biggest movers. Sam started 36, Goody started 39th.
Good little game for those guys. For Sam, in particular, I think Sam is a big fan of these flat 1 mile type ovals here. So I think he'll have the opportunity later in the race to get some more spots. We had a change of position there between Chris Wright and Tom Bourne. Bourne in that 16 on the outside. He's going to lose that spot to Chris Wright. We saw the last caution, or before the last caution, actually stayed out on the old tires. He has been able to rectify that with a caution afterwards to get the fresh tires on there, but definitely did lose a lot of track position in that maneuver and trying to get himself back up.
I don't show that he pitted. Do you guys see that he pit?
I don't. Meanwhile, you saw Seth Rawls using the apron, the pit road exit to the inside of the curb there in 1 and 2. That's not a line you see a whole lot here, but it can be used and it can be viable. It's not a bad idea to use it, and seems to be working fairly well for him.
Yeah, maybe we get an onboard of that, see if he's doing it consistently or whatnot, but some damage there on the right front of Jeff Green's car. He was involved in the last caution, so that car probably not handling to his heart's content right now. Probably a little bit more pushy through these corners and not getting the rotation he needs. So he has lost a few spots. He's now back to P19 and probably going to be more because these other cars around him look a little bit better. Get on board here with Seth and see what kind of line he is running. Not through 3 and 4. He's running kind of a normal line here, but let's see if he runs that very, very low line here through 1 and 2. Actually, yeah, there you go. And you can see what it does there. He gets a little bit loose. He had to counter steer it a little bit, but what that does for a driver is that gives you options. If your car's a little bit tight, which of course in Elite Racing League all setups are fixed. If the car's a little bit tight, and it's always going to be a little bit.
And they're usually also almost always tight.
Yes, they're always fixed and they're always tight. That is just kind of the iRacing meta post 2017. We'll call that. What you could do is that will actually decamber the car when you go down there on that curve. You see him kind of counter steer a little bit again, just trying to get some rotation on that car. And what that does is that just kind of gives you a little bit of an option to maybe, you can't adjust the setup on the car. The only thing you have as a driver is brake bias and changing the way that you drive the corner. So Seth Rawls obviously a little bit tight here through 1 and 2, and he's trying to get a little bit more rotation in that machine to get himself battling up here with Dusty and Harrison. Excuse me, that is Goody, not Dusty.
Meanwhile, we mentioned Jeff Green a little bit before that. Jeff has pulled it in and called it a day.
Yep, and unfortunate there, he was up in the top 3 just about earlier. I believe he got up to 4th before we started getting our cautions. So, showed a lot of speed early in the race and just fell back. Some bad luck and whatnot like that going to be the killer of his race. Here comes Rawls trying to finally make that move on Goody. Not going to be done this lap, presumably, but Goody leaves the inside open through 3 and 4, and that is clear for the taking if Rawls wants it. Not going to be able to get it just this lap. These drivers back here scrapping. Yoakum racing with Connor Thompson there as well. Connor Thompson in the black and lime car that was just at the back of your shot there. Chris Wright, yep, we talked about him. Our telemetry shows that he actually has not pitted yet. We're not sure about that because he might not have pitted. I'm just not completely sure myself, but he is back in the 15th position and not falling back like he did earlier. Actually, that was a little bit wrong too, because he's actually in 19th, so whatever is going on though with him, he has stabilized his position on the racetrack and not falling too much anymore here. A little bit further on the front, here is Cutlip and Eckrich going at it. Once again, we saw these two racing a few laps ago. Cutlip kind of fell off just a little bit, but he has caught back up to the 29 of Eckrich, and right in front of them, Tate Lytle, who's gotten himself up to the 6th position. I don't think, he was racing with Brandon Wilkson a few laps ago. Has not really been able to do much with that 26 car as of yet. I'm just trying to figure out a way around him without harming his own race or plunking the guy out of the way, which is sometimes the thing that is the most difficult part.
Yeah, this battle really hasn't changed much, if at all. Took a break to look at some of the rest of the pack, and everything seems to be still the same with these 5.
Further out the front, Trey Eidson has extended his lead to 0.6 of a second and some change, and then it's about a second back to Weeks, Stanley, and really this battle right here. Weeks is a little bit ahead of Stanley there, but it's pretty much been those 3, Eidson, Borges, and Weeks, all race. And a little bit further on back, the scrap that we were looking at a lap or so ago is still going on. They still have not figured out where they want to be there. Chris Wright now under fire from Connor Thompson to lose the 22nd position now. So as I say that he has stabilized his position, he's now losing spots. I'd say that's a pretty bad commentator's curse right there. He got around the 44 of, excuse me, that was Rawls that was behind Goody a few laps ago. Rawls has got around Goody. Kind of driven away from this group a little bit. Oh, there's the 3 car. Jeff Ryan.
Looks like he was able to save it, but might have got pretty loose off of turn 4. Oh, and I don't think it was his own. Yeah, he got a little bit of help from Mikolajczyk. Great save from Jeff to keep it from being a very violent accident with the pit barrels. Oh no, a contact between Chad and Sam!
Wow, okay, well, literally the next lap, they decide to do it for real here and cause a caution.
Chad trying to say that he was on the bottom. Yeah, and then you see the 15 start to slide higher and higher and higher and into our race control for Wednesday nights.
Now, what you see here is if he was still on the bottom, he wouldn't have made contact.
Exactly.
Wise words from the producer, as always.
I like to join in,
Need a little
giving Chad a hard time.
We need to get a little telestrator thing and start drawing lines. This is the bottom. This is the not the bottom.
Yeah, Carlos has used that telestrator on me before when I had no wing in a sports car race, and he drew on a wing for me.
Carlos always trying to help.
They'd be like, oh, how'd this drawing of a clown get on the screen? Huh. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and take our next break, and we'll be back shortly.
Looking for a heck of a deal? You'll find it at Tom Bolin Ford in Hannibal. Right now, over $4,000 off 2025 Escapes, $2,500 off 2025 Broncos, and over $5,000 off select new 2025 F-150s. And the best part, every one of them comes with a Bolin lifetime powertrain warranty at no extra cost. Big savings, long-term peace of mind, all in one place. Tom Bolin Ford Hannibal. Heck of a deal, ain't it?
Tickets are on sale now for the 5th Enjoy Illinois 300 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. September 11th through 13th brings a full weekend of action with the NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and St. Louis's biggest music festival, Confluence. The stars shine on and off the track, and your ticket gets you everything: cars, concerts, camping, food, and fun. Don't miss it. Get your tickets now and save big at WWTRaceway.com.
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing ladders of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education.
And we are back in just in time to see the pace car make the hard left-hand turn. Green means going, we're back underway at Milwaukee. Another good jump from Eidson, and once again, Burgess finds himself in trying to hold off Weeks to hold on to second.
Been a familiar story all night tonight. Weeks and Borges battling for second, while the 27 Eidson gets that great restart and drives away a little bit. So right now, Matthew Weeks, he gets the run through turns 3 and 4, going to slide up in front of the 21 for now and move him up to position number 2.
Race Control has ruled that last caution a racing deal.
So the Tally 15 meme lives on in without being used tonight yet, but I guess maybe we can. I guess I think we had one earlier, so no harm, no foul here. Racimus and the 22 of Josh Adams going at it for the 12th position. Excuse me, 11th position right now. Give that to Josh Adams. Now Adams looking ahead for the 20 of Gavin Higgins. Ray Eidson set your fastest lap of the race on lap 76. I think 30.5. So definitely some pace in reserve for that number 27. He started first, has been pretty much first all night up to this point.
Yeah, that just really shows you how important track position is here and having that clean air. It's a difficult thing is, with this being such a flat track, you know, the dirty air just feels like it's always magnified at a place like this.
That it certainly can here. Here's a couple cars with 8s in their numbers. Chris Wright in the 8, and that is Randy Yoakum in the 08. Right, trying to get around Yoakum for the 19th position.
Chris did pit that time.
Potentially, I believe, did make his first pit stop of the race here. So I was incorrect a couple cautions ago, and I said he had pitted and got fresh tires on it. He just now got fresh tires on that machine. So he has been driving a boat, for lack of a better term, up until this point. So we'll see what he can do with the fresh tires, matching most of the rest of the field. 3 and 4. Chris Wright's going to get the run. He's going to have the spot at the line. He's going to have to drive it into turn 1 just a little bit deep, which he does. And I think, yeah, sure, give him the position there. Randy Yoakum says he wants to fight it again off of turn number 2, so not so fast, but Chris Wright a little bit too strong there off of turn number 2, now setting his sights on Harry in the 51.
See Harry slide up just a little bit. That's going to give Chris a great run down into turn 1.
And he's going to get it pretty easily here, I think. Harry way out there of the groove. Chris is going to just drive away, potentially bring Yoakum with him. And that's pretty much the easiest way to pass here, is if you can keep your car lower off of turns 2 and 4 than the car in front of you, you can get the run and kind of make that move that way. That's always been the way that I've preferred to make passes here, but usually that tends to, you need to wait about 10-15 laps for a run to happen and for the tires to start wearing for that to actually make an impact here. But Chris Wright on those 4 fresh ones, he is moving right now.
See Gerald and Jeff Ryan battling it all. Things got real close off of 2.
Oh, closer there into 3.
Oh.
Gerald Campbell and Jeff Ryan, they did make contact, and that certainly hurt Ryan's corner entry. He got plunked into the wall just a little bit from the 31, and that's going to hurt Gerald as well. He might be under fire from brawls.
Yeah, we'll see if Seth tries his line again. Nope, he keeps it on the normal racing surface, and it looks like that's still going to work out well. Gerald able to fight back on the outside. Oh, you see Seth really having to drive it off of 4. Big save from Seth.
And that's we've seen that a few times tonight, specifically with the 25 driver. And there he goes, using that inside curb line once again. I don't know if I would do that just yet. He looks like he's loose enough.
Hang on to it, Gale.
Oh, yep. He is sideways and keeps it under him. Has some friends now in the form of Connor Thompson in the 30 and Gerald Campbell in the 31.
Apparently it was a pop-up, Kale, that caused his little adventure right there.
You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it. Always zoomed, yep.
See, there goes the race leaders past the 99 over Vilas.
Vilas, one of those cars that was involved in the massive accident we had down in turns 3 and 4, the parking lot, for lack of a better term. And definitely that car is dinged and banged up for much worse than he would like it to be, and definitely not having any speed in it whatsoever. So just trying to make it to the end of the race is Vilas. He now is a lap down and trying to get that free pass if we get another caution here. But I mean, well, I was going to say it's looking green, but it's not looked green for the most part of the race. So I probably just need to stop talking there and not pull a jinx out. But Andrew Rucker and Tom Bourne going at it. A couple drivers that have had a couple different issues this race, but nonetheless running in the top 15 there is Rucker and trying to get a little bit more out of it. A little bit more would be Jay Connor. About we'll call that half a second up the road there in the 9 car. See, he's got some battle scars on his car. That right rear scuffed up, banged up a little bit, and not looking like it did at the start of the race, but still out there trucking and trying to make something out of the race. That's the beauty of stock car racing. And that's the beauty of NASCAR racing in 2026. We do have the points racing back, so you can see the cars that look like modifieds out on the track again, and the cars that are all binged and banged up and kind of one of my favorite aspects of stock car racing when all the S boxes, that's what we'll call them, are on the racetrack. Jay's not quite that bad, but definitely has some battle scars. And you get another one there.
Adding to it.
Plunks the wall a little bit.
And you said it, Gam. Every point matters now.
Absolutely. Yep. That is a great call out too. That's why you see things like that, because the points actually do matter. It's not just you can't just go out there and win a race and then coast for 26 races anymore and then let the playoffs do the work for you. It is all about the points, at least up until that chase starts, and then you still have to point your way in. You still have to get the points. You still have to maintain even if you're the leader. So definitely back to a better style of racing, in my opinion. And well, behind Weeks here, we got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. 6 if you count the 29 of Extra, who's a little bit behind Cutlip. Kind of in a line here, so Weeks about 0.8 of a second behind Trey Eidson right now. That's about the same lead we've seen that 27 get every restart here. And Weeks looks like he's not as quick, so perhaps that 21 of Borges or Stanley going to try to do something with him. Tate Lytle's up into the top 5 now. These drivers really need us for the run to probably go to the end of the race. We're at lap 92 of 125, so we have about 32 or so laps to go, 33 I think. That math is probably horribly wrong. I was told there wouldn't be math involved, but definitely, that 11 not looking as good as Trey right now. But as I say that, the gap decreases by just a tad, so it could be also completely wrong here.
Yeah, and we know that Weeks loves to come on strong late in these races, so you always have to look at that 11 car and wonder what he has up his sleeve.
Yeah, hopefully it's not some pine tar or something like that if you're a baseball fan, but either way, they'll throw you out for that nowadays. On board with Weeks here. We'll see what he's doing. 28 of Jacob Adams goes another lap down in the 28 machine. I said 28 twice there, so oopsies, but on board here with Weeks, he's probably not going to have to fight the 28 too terribly much here, and I'd say he's actually starting to catch that 27, so look at me being proven completely wrong immediately right off the bat there. The lap times here to confirm whether or not that's true, so about a 1/10.5 there, lap 92, about a 10th on lap 93, and then almost even lap 94. That's brought the gap down to about 0.6 of a second for Matthew Weeks.
And Ryan Borges is still keeping it somewhat close to these two as well. They haven't really run off into the sunset here.
And if you're Borges and if you're Stanley, you would love for Matthew Weeks to be able to find a way to catch Trey Eidson, because that'll bring them right into the fight for the lead as well. So probably hoping for some voodoo magic here on the 11's part, but right now it looks like Eidson has found a way to stabilize that gap to about 0.7 of a second over Weeks.
Smidge faster that time.
They're pretty spread out for about the first 12, 13 or so spots. It looks like, if I look back, it's Jake Connor and Tom Bourne going at it. That would be for the 14th position. Rucker and Hossack in that battle as well. Bourne's going to get it for now. Bring Andrew Rucker along with him on Jay Connor.
And great comeback for Tom Bourne. We saw him end up in the wall in the first few laps, and he is now knocking on the door of the top 10.
Absolutely. Yep. He was our first caution of the night, and definitely did have that front end damage. It looks never looked terrible, but it definitely looks like it got fixed up a little bit more than that time. No center punch that I can see. So looking at the body panels, they mostly fit together, more or less like it probably should. So I think Tom more or less okay. That Ghost Energy, Greg Biffle inspired paint scheme here. Here's Michael Osick on Jay Connor here. That's for 16th. Osick with a big move to the bottom, trying to get the run off of turn number 4. He's going to have it at the line, but can he keep it through 1 and 2? I think he should be able to. I say should, as in he will not, actually, because Jay Connor's fighting back on the outside out of turn number 2. We've seen that line be pretty effective on the restarts. Not too many people running out there to hold position, but when they do, it does tend to work at least for one lap. But Connor a little bit sideways there through 3 and 4. That's going to give it to Hosick.
Yeah, good move by Hosick. He was working him over the last few laps and just set that up perfectly.
That has pretty much made our top 15 or so single file for the time being. Matthew Weeks up at the front. Gap is pretty much stabilized to about 6 to 7 tenths of a second, and I did not say those two numbers together, but Ryan Borges there a little bit further on back. He's right in the fight. It's been Borges has separated himself a little bit from Ethan Stanley to the tune of about a second and change there. You see the gap behind the 21 of Borges. So your fastest 3 cars of the night, Borges, Weeks, and Eidson, they have once again gapped themselves from the rest of the field.
Yeah, you see Ryan is much closer to Weeks than Stanley is to him, all over the back of the 11, trying to make it shift 1-2 here.
Yeah, don't look now. Look at those gaps. Weeks is now under 0.4 of a second to Trey Eidson, and Ryan Borges is all over the back of him. So I don't think Trey Eidson's lead is safe at all, and I don't even know if it's going to be between Weeks and Borges. If Borges can get around Weeks, I think he's going to catch the 27 in short order, but definitely looking a little bit less stringent of a lead than it did a couple laps ago there for Borges. And this lap car of Kyle Hanshaw is not going to make things any better, not going to make it too much worse, but definitely not able to get the entry of the corner that he really needed there to make a lot of speed. And you can see the gap there falling under 0.4 of a second for him.
You see changing for position, I think the 5 and the 26. See Cutlip finally getting around.
We'll see what he can do now. Cutlip's been pretty fast in the later half of the run all race. Has not had the ultimate speed in the 1 to 15, 20 lap runs, but on these later runs, he has been pretty quick. As I say that, he goes way wide in turns 3 and 4 and gives the spot right back to Brandon Wilkinson. There's Tate Lytle getting around Tate Lytle getting around Kyle Hanshaw, not Tate Lytle getting around himself. Although that could certainly happen.
We are now 20 laps to go.
On Brandon Wilkinson once again in the corner that he missed so badly last time. He's going to make the move, and for Cutlip, he does make the corner this time, and Brandon Wilkinson had some words about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure if... Yeah, I don't think it was like a clapback, but I don't really know. Couldn't really quite tell what he was talking about right there.
I can only guess there was maybe some side-on-side contact. Aaron Cutlip said he got loose a little bit, so maybe they were side by side and had some contact there. But either way, no damage in either car. They're both right where they probably should be on the racetrack, and didn't seem to lose too much time from it. So I think all pretty all right here. None worse for the wear for either driver. That's what I was going for. But that gap at the front. There's Chad Frankenfield on Randy Yoakum. Paul Michaelacci getting close to the 15. Paul Michaelacci going to make the move. Wow, that was almost a interesting situation there off of turn number 4. Battle for P18 here. Chris Wright has it, and these other two of Frankenfield and Michaelacci won it. Randy Yoakum in the wall there. Not going to help his matters any. Paul on the inside through 3 and 4. He'll have to get the run off of turn number 4, and I think he most certainly will for now. He'll have it at the line. He'll have it pretty easily at the line. In turn 1, drive it in a little bit deep, get on the brakes a little bit harder, and position is yours. So now he's got to look forward to the aid of Chris Wright. This gap at the front of the field has not gone away. Matthew Weeks is just about there to the 27, and Borges is about there to the back of the 11. And they have to navigate the lap car of Austin and Nabnett here in just a moment. So that could be what one of these cars needs to be able to make the move here. We'll see if they can all get around him cleanly. He stays well out of the way up there on that outside groove.
Yeah, and you saw Trey get loose off of turn 2 in the wake of the 60 car. Allowed Weeks to get just a little bit closer.
The driver that's going to hurt most was Ryan Borges. He was not able to make the move until after turn 4, so lost a little bit of time there, but not a whole lot. I think on aggregate, really, he really didn't lose too terribly much there. He's trying to get this gap under 0.3 of a second. The closer he can get, the more he can disturb the air of the 27 and maybe get him loose, maybe give him a small bump. We're not talking about moving him out of the way or wrecking him, but you can definitely bump these cars in the middle of the corner and kind of just shove them up the racetrack a little bit. Very effective here at Milwaukee. I'm sure that's what Weeks has on his mind.
Absolutely, the good old bump and run. Obligatory, that's just short track racing.
He'd probably say that's short track racing, right? All-time Denny quote. Weeks you can tell he's trying there. Weeks is trying. He is swatting flies in that car, trying to get everything he can out of that car because we are almost at 10 to go. We're at 12 to go now, so not a lot of time for these drivers to do what they need to do. And Weeks is going to have to fight off that 21 of Borges behind him. Borges is all over the back of Weeks. So he might want to fight the 27, but he has to keep the 21 behind him as well. And that's might be the hard thing he's got to do now.
Yeah, Weeks in the middle of a shift sandwich.
Take a letter from that, and we instantly get
Say that carefully.
but either way.
I was wondering if someone was going to pick up on that.
Depending on where you stand, that could be true for the shift team, or it could not be true. Either way, Dustin Dewar and Tom Bourne now going at it. A little bit further on back, that's going to be for 13th. Dusty has that position right now. Tom Bourne is going for it, and I think off turn number 4, he's going to have it, at least temporarily. Third line for the 16, drive it into the corner, hard on the brakes. That's going to be all she wrote for that.
Yeah, the great comeback for Bourne continues. Ooh. Oh, as Dusty gets the wall.
It's going to open the door a little bit for Rucker behind, but not quite close enough to make anything happen this corner. And now Rucker's going to also have Hossack behind him to deal with. Rucker goes to the inside of Dusty off of turn number 4. not quite at the point where the position is guaranteed for him, so he's going to drive it in. Dusty's going to also drive it in. Almost some contact between the two, but I think they were clean. And off of turn number 2 here, it's going to be Andrew Rucker with the run. Dusty's going to try to do a crossover. Rucker enters a little bit earlier than he would and cuts that off a little bit. That's actually going to hurt Dusty's entry to turn 3 there and make him under fire from Hosick, but I think they get through it just ever so gracefully there.
Meanwhile, things are really picking up at front. The lead trio, they got caught behind a couple lap cars doing battle. And that's really brought him onto the back of the 27.
Saw the lap car there of Tyler Popp. Went into the pit road, just got out of the way of these 3 guys battling here, so I'm sure they appreciate that. And I'm sure we did as well. Good little fight. These 3 have been the fastest all race, bar none. Ethan Stanley and Tate Lytle back there, just not able to show the outright pace of these top 3 at the moment. See, these cars are starting to wiggle a little bit there off the corners. Trey Eidson was a little bit loose there off of turn number 4. The rear end sliding out just a little bit. So definitely giving them all they have. Everything that these cars are worth is going in there right now. Michael Hosick here on the 46 of Hanshaw. That is a lap car, not for position. Hosick gets around Dustin Dewar. That was last lap. So Dustin Dewar struggling here in the later half of this race and struggling to keep his position. Dustin Dewar was up in the top 10 earlier in the race, so back now to the, I want to say that is the 16th position. Yep. Still a pretty decent run nonetheless.
We are now 5 to go, coming to 4 laps to go, and you see this is the closest Borges has been in some time to the back of the 11. You have to wonder, he's got to make that move soon if he has a move to make. See, Eidson slides up from the bottom a little bit. I don't know if that was by design.
But right now, Eidson, his lead is it's the largest it's been at about 10 laps. It's now over 0.3 of a second. So I think Matthew Weeks, having that 21 in his mirror is not doing anything to his concentration or anything like that is positive at this point. And he's got to focus on holding off Borges right now more so than he has to focus on getting up to Trey in front of him.
And we now have 3 laps to go, and you're right, Cam. It's allowing Trey to just eke it out a little bit. Meanwhile, Borges is almost bump drafting Weeks down the back straightaway. Borges goes a little high, maybe trying to set up a run off of the corner. So we're coming to 2 to go here at Milwaukee.
Car of Adams out of the way of all these drivers. Trey Hudson, no problem for him. Matthew Weeks, no problem for him. Or just no problem for him. You'd expect that. He's a shift car.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, that did not help Borges in his quest to overtake the 11. Weeks still keeping him at bay. As off the final corner, 1 lap to go from the Milwaukee Mile. 1 mile left. Trey Eidson has been about near flawless all night long. And he needs to be flawless to hold off the 11 and the 21. Borges with a run off of turn 2. Does he make the send on Weeks? No, doesn't look like it. Do we see the bumper use? He's not going to be close enough. Meanwhile, off of the corner, coming to the checker flag. Win number 1 on the season for Eidson. Trey Eidson wins at Milwaukee.
Wow. And what a great drive from Trey from the pole. He was under fire basically all race long from Matthew Weeks and that 21 of Ryan Borges, and did exactly what he needed to do. to keep himself up there. You see, he led 123 laps. All but 2 laps here tonight were led by the driver of that 27 machine, Trey Eitzen. And just, in a couple leagues I've been in the past, we would call that putting on a clinic out here tonight.
Yeah, the 2 laps that he didn't leave for it was when Chris Wright stayed out. Otherwise, absolute domination for the 27 car. Trey continues to burn it down. We're going to go ahead and take our last break, and we will be back with our top 3.
Tickets are on sale now for the 5th Enjoy Illinois 300 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. September 11th through 13th brings a full weekend of action with the NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and St. Louis's biggest music festival, Confluence. The stars shine on and off the track, and your ticket gets you everything: cars, concerts, camping, food, and fun. Don't miss it. Get your tickets now and save big at WWTRaceway.com.
Blue Egg Marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. So don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big.
The Lucas Oil School of Racing. Simply stated, we are the professional ranks where the quality of the equipment often dictates the outcomes, and all of our cars are designed to perform and race as close as humanly possible. None of our competitors will have an advantage from engineering tactics. Rather, you will compete on a completely level field with a score of immensely talented up-and-coming drivers, all pushing each other to reach their new heights in their respective pursuit in becoming a professional race car driver. Every year, our top-performing graduates move on to the professional racing ladders of IndyCar, F1, and IMSA. Whether drivers compete in 1 or 2 seasons of our series, when they are ready to move on, they are ready to move. The training you receive in our school is an unmatched, unforgettable, first-class education combining the very best racing instruction and education.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Alrighty, we are back and we are about to talk to our 3rd place finisher. Ryan James in the booth, you got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Well, a heck of a run tonight. I don't think you were anywhere lower than P4 all night. A very consistent run for you tonight.
Yeah, it was a good night for me. Definitely would have liked a little bit more, but kept it right up inside the top 5. I think for, like you said, I don't think any lap was outside of the top 4 or 5. So that was a good run. It was definitely really hard fought between me and Trey and Weeks. It was just I know it might have got a little boring watching because we were just all like a car length apart for about half that race. But we were just talking. We were trying as hard as we could. It's just like once we got to each other, we were so close on speed, we just couldn't make any sort of run. But no, it was a good race. It was definitely fun to get a couple of those long green flag runs because it seemed like that was where I was stronger for sure.
Absolutely, and yeah, you guys were pretty much nose to tail for the entirety of the final 30 laps. Did that Is that nerve-wracking? Like, did you think that something might happen? Did you think you might be able to make those moves on Weeks and your teammate and get up to the front?
I mean, that was the hope. It's just they're such good drivers, both of them. They didn't make any mistakes, so I was hoping. I mean, not for my teammate, but just hoping a lap car could stall either the 11 or try up a little bit, give me a little bit of a chance to get around them. But they ran such a clean final run there. I couldn't do anything. I was trying to go in a little higher and shoot it off the bottom in the last 10 laps a couple times, but I just lose so much time on entry center, it just wouldn't even work. So I was just content to take a podium. It's not a bad points night for sure. That and stage points, just those are the name of the game heading towards the playoffs.
Absolutely a fantastic run for you tonight. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout-outs you like to give?
Yeah, just got to thank Design Ping for coming on the car this year. Shift Esports, we got a great group of guys to race with, and everyone's getting along so well, and we're all putting up good results. So it's fun when it's low key, it's chill in there, and we're all fast. So it's been a good season so far, and looking forward to the next few races for sure.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you, Ryan. Hopefully, we're talking to you again next week.
Sounds good. Thank you guys, and wow, congratulations to Trey on the win. I know it was heartbreak at Dover, but it's good to see him get redemption there.
Absolutely. That's your third place finisher, Ryan Borges, and now here's Cam for a runner-up.
Matthew Weeks, this is Cam in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man. Well, your fourth top 5 finish in a row in this series, and I was looking at your stats before we started the race tonight. It was looking a little bit bleak. You've had struggles here in the past, but great run out here tonight. Tell us about your night from your perspective.
It was good. And go back from the other races. I've had speed, just not the look. We've always been caught in wrecks, but finally we put one together. But it was a good night, and to be honest with you, I thought we were going to have a lot more cautions, but it kind of cleaned up there, and it was good. And I was surprised I qualified as well as I did. I know this track, like previous, I felt like I struggled qualifying. So to qualify, I think I was fifth, and then Gavin had the EOL at the start of the race, so that kind of helped. And I think I was second majority of the race, and I was surprised. And I was just trying to take care of my stuff. And as soon as we get to that long part of the run, the 2 long runs that we had, and it finally switched, I'll start gaining on them. But as soon as I get to, like I was just telling Trey, as soon as I get to about 4 tenths behind him, 3 tenths, right in that range, 3 to 5 tenths in that range, it's like I just stalled and I just could not do anything. So, I mean, I'll take it, dude. We're getting points. We started the season off with I think Daytona we wrecked out. Coda, my computer froze like halfway through the race. The third race I got smoked where I should have won. So really, to turn this season around like we have after Vegas, it's been good. So we're rolling right now. We just got to keep this going until the playoffs, and hopefully get real good close to the top, or maybe win the regular season championship. So we put ourselves in a really good spot to try to win this championship.
Yeah, no, you brought up the dirty air. We've heard that from a couple drivers tonight. Was that really the limiting factor in being able to do anything else? We kind of saw it was pretty much you, Eidson, and Borges all race long, kind of up there in the top 3. Just you guys even gapped yourself from really 4th, 5th, and friends back there. But was it the dirty air that was the limiting factor there?
Yeah, the dirty air has been, I think, the last build we had on iRacing on this, like for the stock car side update, put some air in this car and the cup car, and it's made the dirty air really bad. And some of these tracks, like when we get to these tracks where it's really just like a lane and a half, really, of a racetrack, you really can't do anything, and it's so hard to pass. And like I was explaining, when you're further back in the traffic, yeah, you can pass a little more because everyone's dealing with the dirty air, so you can kind of make moves. But the closer you get to the leader, it feels like it's harder to pass. And it seems like that entire race, I got close to him, stalled. I think Ryan got past me the first long run and stalled behind him. So it just has something to do with that dirty air behind the leader, and it sucks, but it's kind of like real life too, where the leader has a little bit more advantage than everyone else being up front. So Hopefully this build, they changed some things. I've heard some updates with this car, so hopefully it switches it and makes the car a little better so we can race a lot more. I wish it was like the Cup car where you can move around a lot more. I feel like the Cup car, you can move around on the tracks. And I think that's what we need with this car. And once we do that, dude, this will be the best car in the sim, stock car wise.
And real quick, looking forward to next week. We're going to IRP, LOIRP, LORP, whatever you want to call it. It's had about 10,000 different names over the years, but the Indy Raceway Park, which I think should be a fun race. How are you looking forward to that one?
I'm looking forward to it. I know the first time we raced there in this league, like years and years ago, it wasn't fun. And then, we talk about how the update and they keep updating stuff. And I think I raced there in a different league like 6 months ago, and it was like some of the most fun racing I had. All over the place, on the apron, that first lane, second lane, all the way at the wall. So I'm hoping we get that kind of racing next week. And if we do, it's going to be awesome. So I'm excited for it.
Absolutely, yep. But before we let you go and celebrate the second place finish, any sponsors or shout outs?
Oh, shout out to my boy Justin Vandermeerl at JV Designs. He paints these amazing cars. Like we switched it up with the silver this season, and this thing bangs on the track. It looks so good when I watch the races back, especially the night one. So I can't go back. Can't wait to go back and watch this race seeing this car. The Pro Edge guys, I don't think there's a lot of them tonight. I think I was pretty much the only one, which kind of sucks. Now I see Jesse right there in 11th. So Jesse had a good run. So luckily he got rid of his bad luck. So shout out to Jesse there. And I think really we were like the only Pro Edge guys. So shout out to those guys. Sucks Ethan and everyone else couldn't make it. All the Channel 199 guys and Fueled Up. I don't think Fueled Up races this series, but we all hang out in the Discord together in most races. So it's always fun, shooting the crap with those guys, bouncing racing ideas, lines to try to help each other out through the race. So it's always a good time. You guys up here, you guys call amazing races. I love watching these money races back. Everyone that's part of the league, all the sponsorship, Racecraft. I see Racecraft jumped aboard this season, so that's cool as well. Hope everyone watched the race. I know it's kind of boring with not a lot of passes, but it was fun. Like I am sweating. Like that last run really got me sweating pretty good.
All right. Well, we appreciate you taking some time to talk to us, Matthew. Congrats on the second place finish, and maybe go take a shower. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely what I'm gonna do.
All right. All right. With that one, James is gonna catch up with your race winner.
Yes, sir. Trey, James in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Well, what a performance tonight. You led all but 2 laps. Take us through your, I don't want to say beatdown, but your well in control race tonight.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite tracks. It's like an OG on iRacing. I remember cutting laps here in like the original truck, like, I don't know, 08, 09, 2010, somewhere in there. And I've always logged a ton of laps here. I like driving the place. I don't think it puts on the best racing. Kind of what you saw tonight. It's usually single file, but I love driving it. It's very finesse track. Like you got to hit your entry, make sure you hug the curb, and then especially tonight, you got to be easy on the throttle because this thing, after like 2 or 3 laps, it had absolutely no drive off. So I just tried to kind of mimic what I just explained to you and not really screw up. Weeks was kind of there the whole race. Every time I'd think I could like back my pace up and save some tires, he would catch me and I'd have to go again. So really kind of an uneventful race, which is great. After Dover, I thought I had that one, and then the end didn't go my way. So it's cool to come back this week and grab a victory. So I don't know if you guys, I would have to watch the replay. I have to make sure it's kind of what I felt, but there was a few laps I was so low in 3 and 4 that my left front was like getting in the grass, and I did that with about 3 to go and screwed up my exit off of 4. And I looked up. Weeks had a pretty decent run. I thought I was handing it away. So I wouldn't say I was perfect all night, and I about threw it away. But yeah, that happened a couple times. So yeah, it was. This thing was real edgy. I was never really drove it that hard. So. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I'm glad to win. That's all that kind of really matters, especially with the points and how they work this year.
Absolutely, and all things considered, you still ran a great race even with the tire wear going off.
Yeah, that last run, I think I had like a mental lapse. I thought maybe there was like 20 to 25 to go, and I really got out there to like a second half lead, and I think I cooked my tires a little bit because I was pretty tight right there at the end. Um, but yeah, I think I thought there was less laps to go, so I just drove hard. So when Weeks started catching me, I thought I was done. But the dirty air definitely helped me. But I'd really just tried to stay smooth on the gas and not give him a chance to really attack because he was better than me on entry. So if he ever did get a run on exit, I feel like he could have easily sent it in there under me and made it work. But yeah, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I had a similar kind of situation, same car, same track, and got the pole, led like a million laps, and Tate came out of nowhere and passed me with maybe 15 or 20 to go. So I thought, I was living the same story again tonight when Matthew got there. I thought for sure I'm not about to hand 2 races over here after dominating. So I'm glad it worked out. Like I said, especially after Dover, we got inside 5 to go, and I had a pretty comfortable lead and thought we had one there, and it just didn't go our way at the end. So I'm glad to kind of keep the momentum. I think I told you guys last week we started out terrible, and I'm like slowly starting to peck away at finishes. Like you get a 12th, and then you get a 10th and an 8th, and a top 5 at Dover, and now I'll win. So kind of figuring this car out. I know they're about to update it, so hopefully it's not drastically different where I gotta figure it out again. But just try to keep running top 5, top 10, and get a pretty good points cushion before we reach that cutoff week.
Absolutely. Well, it was a awesome run for you tonight. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
Yeah, I just got to thank everybody at Shift Esports. It's good. Bergie's got a top 3 there. Brandon and Scott also got top 10s. I see. I don't know where Seth ended up. He had a rough go of it. But he's got a good group of guys here. We all get along. We all cut up in the channel, talk pretty much the whole race, and it doesn't bother anybody. Which usually you get some members that just want us to shut up so they can focus. But it's a good group. Thanks to everybody at Racecraft for sponsoring the series, Chad and all the admins, you guys, all the viewers. I don't think it was a crazy show. I haven't went back and watched any wrecks to see if they were crazy. But hopefully they enjoyed it. I don't know how many of you guys watched last night's truck race, but I mean, I absolutely destroyed the wall. Like it was one of the hardest wrecks I've ever had. So it's cool to come back 24 hours later and win. So I appreciate it. Hopefully I get to talk to you guys again soon.
Absolutely. We appreciate you, Trey, and hopefully we are talking to you again next week.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
All right, that's our race winner, Trey Eitzen, and I believe that just about does it for us. Cam, what are your closing thoughts tonight?
Well, Trey Edson from the hospital bed, because when he says that was one of the hardest wrecks he's had, he sure absolutely killed that wall last night in the truck. So, yeah, I mean, typical Milwaukee race here. It went pretty quickly here, 125 laps, and we have, well, if you consider Milwaukee a short track, we have more short track racing next week, but going to be a much different vibe at the Indy Raceway Park. No bottom feeding there. That'll be all top feeding. So it will be a different race for sure.
Absolutely. But with that just about wraps it up. For my broadcast partners, Cam Rich and Dave Huckleberry. And hey, Cam, I got to give you thanks for taking over the majority of the commentary while I recover from the sickness. But with that, it's time to bid you adieu. And we'll see you next week at Indianapolis Raceway Park. Good night, everyone.